All right, so talking about the third act and the that epic climatic last scene of Endgame. So what did you guys think about when the dusted Avengers return? Jessica.
I thought it was pretty epic. It was fun to like see them all have their little spotlight, like each little group come in, and like how long it like focused on them for you to be like, yeah, you know, like, and then are we like moving into like the battle and stuff? Can I say?
Yeah.
I think like my favorite part of like the whole battle was like Spider-Man when he was like, initiate like whatever kill, like instant kill, and it was so badass. And it was like, like stabbing everything. I was like, oh my god! I thought that was like super epic. It's fun to see.
My favorite part of the whole movie was the Avengers base getting blown up until they all come back. Especially the scene with Captain America getting a Mjolnir.
Yeah.
And the part where they all of them show up to set up the epic battle. The battle didn't live up to that setup.
Wait. Sorry, go ahead.
It was too much going on. Everything was like besides Thanos, almost everything was being handled pretty easily.
Yeah, it was one of those typical last battle scenes.
Yeah, like,
but it was the one in like 14 million.
Still, I wasn't worried about anybody. Nobody was getting killed.
But it was so amazing, and like, come on, the part when like Thor's, how do you say it, Mjolnir or whatever, when it starts moving and freaking Captain America,
that's before I'm talking about.
Oh, well, I'm saying
the Thanos fight was awesome.
What a movie moment!
Yes,
he's like throwing his shield and throwing it. Oh my god!
Yeah, even that was teased in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, because
pick it up a little bit.
But I'm just saying, the battle did not live up to that setup where they all came in. I'm talking about the battle, not Thanos.
But then you need the like. What do you mean, like in terms of death?
When it's Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man fighting Thanos, it's amazing.
Yeah.
When they all come back, it's amazing. The battle with Thanos' army versus the Avengers and everybody else.
But it's hard.
And it
was too much. Yes, it was too much.
And it was good because it was just these limited characters, just like 4 or 5 people fighting. And you can just focus on them. And then when it comes to the big ass thing, when everyone came back, and it was just like it was all over the place.
Yeah, for like how long was that battle? Like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
For all those characters, that needed to be like a whole act in order to be like in order to feel any tension.
Should have been Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones.
Battle of Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Epic scene like that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It was just way too much. There was no way they were going to be able to handle. Like I remember when the first Avengers came out, they were giving them so much praise about being able to handle all those superheroes in one movie. So
yeah,
imagine like
6 of them.
Imagine like how many more characters was that?
But the thing is, we've seen them all star in their own movies. You know, we know what they're capable of. We don't need to have like whole acts devoted to them. That's not driving the plot of the movie.
But the battle lost its tension because nobody was getting killed.
I mean, I liked the whole thing about that you have all the MCU characters basically alive.
Yeah.
In this one scene fighting.
Yeah, I think for how expansive and huge it is, they did a good job at least showing a little bit, like little snippets of like each people.
So in that sense,
they did play to the fans of who's the favorites of who you want to see more screen time.
So then in that sense, it was very epic, and especially another fan service element in that scene was when Captain America finally says, Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
And then that was something like, what is he going to say? What is he going to say? Then, I mean, I assume it'll be in this movie, which it did. But how about you, Bryan? What did you think about that that last scene there, or the battle scene with all the characters?
I was enjoying it. What Jessica said, with how many characters there are, it's kind of hard to do it any other way than showing showcasing each one of them like kicking ass. But piggybacking on what Ivan said on how there was no real escalation of tension because nobody really seemed like they were in a dire situation, and I think they struck a lighter tone by doing that compared to Infinity War. How it ended, there was like a really dark tone. Coming back, everyone was whooping ass. There was definitely a lighter tone struck, and it was, like feeding into like the fan base a lot more, like giving them their treats. So I mean, I didn't hate it, but I thought it could have been better.
Yeah.
There was things where like they put during the battle because after Tony's death they couldn't really add it because Gamora when she's looking at Star-Lord, and remember that part where Star-Lord's really happy to see Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like realistically, with Star-Lord, Nebula, and Gamora stopped in that epic battle for that reason. I get it why they did it. It's to set up the volume. To set up volume 3. It's just,
another one of those moments.
It just
opportunistic.
It just ruined that battle.
Yeah.
Like I get it why they had to do that.
Yeah.
Because seeing Star-Lord like be excited about Gamora, people wouldn't really care after Tony's death. So they had to shove it in there during that battle.
Rushed it.
But yeah, it's just way too much. But I'm still, I still go with it was a plus instead of a negative. It just could have been done a lot better.
The same. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I did think about those things.
There's
Something was very opportunistic and kind of rushed. But I understand that this is the last movie and they're cramming a lot of stuff in.
I think some of you predicted that Iron Man would die, right?
Yeah.
So your thoughts on Iron Man dying, Jew?
Well, I didn't know he was gonna go like that. I didn't know he was gonna get like the gems on his own glove or whatever. So that was a surprise, but honestly, it was kind of spoiled to me that he was gonna die. Fucking went on Instagram real quick.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the first thing was just it just said Iron Man death scene, and real quick I was like, oh fuck.
What the hell?
Why would you do that?
I just
In the
clicked on
headline.
I just clicked on Instagram, and the first post was
That's
Iron
not
Man.
his
Yeah.
fault. That's the
No.
fault of whoever is.
I unfollowed that fucker and real quick, but
No, well, yeah.
but
that's
yeah,
how
it just sucks. But really, it just confirmed it for me. I had the idea of it in my head. It was kind of hard to imagine it going the other way, but it just kind of confirmed it for me. But it wasn't a big shock for me. So kind of waiting for it, I guess.
So Jessica, your thoughts on Tony Stark dying in Endgame?
I thought it was really well done. I like that he didn't die like alone, and like he had like Pepper there. Except I could have done without the whole battle without Pepper there. I thought that was so dumb, so dumb.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I didn't care for that
yeah, such
actually.
a stupid little thing that just needed to be done. Anyway, I like that at least like, she was there for like his death, at least, And then, Spider-Man, because he felt what it was like to lose him, and now he felt like what it was like to lose him. I mean, he gets me every time he cries. Every time he's like, Mr. Stark, I'm like, oh my god! Like, it's so sad. But I felt the loss. It was so sad. It started with him, all these Marvel movies.
Right. So
it's like, and it ended with him.
Which we
Really
kind of
like
should
the
have.
Endgame.
We kind of should have figured that it would be him, and I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but like it was very symbolic, and it got me right in the feels. And I like the way that he kind of looked at Strange, and Strange just kind of like let him know, like, this is the one. Like, this is the one in the
You
14
dying
million. Yeah.
Is the one.
Yeah, they just knew. So he just went for it, and I thought that was, like, especially after the whole movie, he's talking about how he can't lose what he found. But then he ended up making that choice and doing it. It was just very cool. It was sad, but it was like, it's something you expect from Captain America, not from Iron Man.
Right. Yeah.
And especially after he talked to his dad, and his dad was like talking about how he always puts other things, before like what's most important to him, and just to know that he like broke the chain and like did all that was pretty cool.
Ivan.
I agree with Jessica. I don't really have much to add to that.
Bryan.
Well, I came to terms with him dying in Infinity War.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah, you were ready to let him go in that.
He was gone. To me, like, I knew he was gonna die, and I knew that it was okay he was gonna die. So I did see some ignorant person on Twitter posting it after they saw it on Friday. They saw it early, like midday Friday. Posted it on Twitter. Rest in peace, Tony Stark.
You saw that before you saw the movie?
Yeah.
So it was spoiled for you then?
No, it wasn't, because I saw Infinity War and I was okay with coming to terms with he's gonna die. I was okay with it, Infinity War, so I kind of figured he was gonna go. Him and Captain America. And leading up to his death, it was kind of, obvious. So
Okay.
You guys need to put your phone in airplane mode
Yes.
next time before this movie.
no, that was not my fault at all. This was on. This person saw it on Friday and they thought it was okay. Like I said, it was an ignorant person. It never should have happened.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. And I once I saw "Rest in Peace," I looked away, and with the closing of my eyes, the image was already imprinted. So when I closed my eyes, I can kind of see Tony Stark. I was like, but I kind of already knew that. So it wasn't really like.
Still, though,
Yeah, of course. It was annoying.
Just confirmed it.
It was definitely annoying, and anybody that spoils Endgame in the opening weekend, you gotta wait at least a week. But you probably shouldn't even do it then. You should probably say spoiler alert. But if you do that, go fuck yourself.
Clown.
I was giving out fake spoilers at my work today.
Fake spoilers?
Yeah. I was like, oh man, when Wolverine shows up, it's amazing.
Wait till John Stark comes in.
What the hell? Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the story of the MCU, I would think that Tony Stark would die, but again, I always just go back to the business aspect of it. Like, I don't think they're gonna kill off a character that's making a lot of money to the studio. That's kind of how I see it like that. But it makes sense that he would die. And so, like I said, I was predicting Captain America would die because it's more of his personality that he's going to sacrifice himself. And it was actually Iron Man who sacrificed himself. Not saying that Captain America wouldn't, but it just ended up being Tony Stark.
They both had a really good send off.
And yeah, and then let's talk about that now. So basically, he stayed over there back in the 40s or whatever, and had the life with what's the girl's name? Her last name's Carter, but I don't remember her first name.
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
Peggy.
And I mean, if I really think about it too hard, be like, well, Captain America wasn't able to help in these other battles with the Avengers. But anyways. So that was like a good send-off for Captain America. If he's not gonna die and he's not gonna be in this anymore, that was good.
Beautiful send-off.
And did you like that aspect of Captain America basically ending his story here?
Yeah, without thinking about the plot holes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Well, sorry, you said plot holes, but do you mean like if he's going back in time and he's staying there, how do we see him in this reality?
Not just that, it's what does Peggy Carter do? Because like a lot of her motivation was because she lost Captain America. So
And then I'm thinking too, like, well, there was still some battles with the Avengers, and Captain America wasn't there. So I think that would have been impactful. But
we only saw we saw one. Was Rogers? What's his name?
Steve
Rogers. We saw one come back, so that was, to me, that was a Steve Rogers from an alternate timeline that went through the same thing, and he's coming back into this one. Like, that's the way I saw it. So for me, he still did everything he should have
okay,
done.
so you said it was like his own
timeline. Yeah.
Okay, so his own reality, and then this different one.
That's
Yeah,
what-
exactly.
that's
But then
what-
how do we get back to? Well, like I said, I don't want to get into the whole
That's the way they-
thoughtful things about it. But
Well,
it
actually,
was
that's the way
good.
they kind of handled it. It wasn't Back to the Future, where if you interfere with something, it affects the future.
Paradox.
Yeah, there was no paradox. Instead of continuing on, it branched off and created an alternate reality. So everything that happened did happen on their own reality.
Yeah.
It just created an alternate reality. So if you change something from that reality, it creates another alternate one. So he lived. I mean, still, bad things would have happened in that reality too.
Yeah.
There still would be a Thanos in that reality. But it's one of the things. Just be happy for Captain.
Yeah, that's what I'm
America.
saying. Is like it really think about it
Yeah.
into the potential plot holes, or then it kind of would ruin it. But it was a good way to end his story.
The main thing is don't focus way too much on making sense, because why didn't Nick Fury page Captain Marvel
Years ago?
in Avengers?
Decades ago.
When he's like, only for emergencies. I think that was an emergency. When
It was, but it seemed like it was well handled, and she did mention that there was a bunch of other places that needed her help.
But Nick Fury sees a couple of people turn to ash, and he immediately pages her. He didn't know that was happening in the whole universe. But he sees an invasion in New York, an atomic nuclear missile being launched to New York City, and he doesn't think to page her. But he gets in the car accident, and some people disappear, and pages her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We can't.
Don't worry about it.
Because he felt himself leaving, and who else would know to page her if he was gone?
But he said he could have. Nick Fury could have also felt the fear of death when they were coming.
Yeah, there's just some things we just have to ignore.
Just don't worry about it. They didn't think about that then. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's most of the time we don't, but when it comes to something like this, I think we could just disregard.
Yeah, it's a comic book.
Exactly. I was gonna say it's very comic book esque, definitely. So it works for the movies.
Yeah.
So
go to the movies and you enjoy it.
Even the thing that really bugged people, like Pepper in her own Iron Man suit. She in the comics she does have her own Iron Man suit.
No, I know that too.
So we might have hated it, but the people who read the comics and always wondered, is she gonna have her own suit soon? At least they got it at the very end.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden she's like a badass and like all this.
She was a kind of a badass in Iron Man 3 when she took out what's his name?
Oh, Guy Pearce. Well, the actress name.
Yeah.
I don't remember the character name. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Which I hated.
I hated that movie.
That's probably
they never developed her as a character like that, so it was just out of left field.
I didn't see that one either.
You didn't see Iron Man 3?
No.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was both of our worst movie.
Yes.
In the whole MCU.
You like missed nothing.
Plot hole wise, that one probably has the biggest fucking plot holes.
Anyways,
I'll probably watch it and make like a game out of it.
It was bad. It was not good. But yeah, I didn't like Potts and the suits. I didn't know that she would be in it, or it wouldn't be something, out of left field or whatever for her to show up. But it just looked weird. It just didn't fit.
My thoughts on it was that if you have that suit, you can the AI, you can have it. All right, just follow me around and cover my ass, instead of having her there, instead of having his wife there. And she's like, she's protected, but she knows how to maneuver it well. She can battle all these people. Maybe she shouldn't be there. That's just me. I didn't read the comic books. I'm watching the movie and I'm thinking that.
So do you, Jessica, like that Thor is with the Guardians now?
I think that's hilarious. Yes, I think that's really fun.
That was my favorite part of... humor-wise, that was my favorite part of Infinity War. Like, the whole back and forth, it was perfect. Like, it was just hilarious from the very first moment they even, meet him up until the end of Endgame. So, I'm excited for Volume 3.
Especially because I feel like that's where Thor belongs. Like, in space, traveling. Not on Earth, just being there.
Like Captain Marvel?
Getting fatter. Yeah.
Did you like that, Bryan? That Thor was with Guardians?
Yes.
Jacob?
Yeah, I liked it. Wait, I had 3 different questions in my mind.
All right, so then what about Captain America giving the shield to Falcon?
Sorry. Stupid.
What?
I think that's stupid.
Oh.
Okay. All right, so you weren't a fan of that?
No. I thought that was so dumb. Like, sentimental wise, that's so nice. But, he could have done something different than that. You can have my suit. I don't know, something nice. He has no superhuman abilities. He could fly around and he was, a pilot. But, he's no Steve Rogers. He's no Bucky. So, I thought it was dumb.
I hated that Bucky told Falcon to go to Captain America. It was childhood friends. Captain America fought Iron Man for Bucky.
2 movies where they show the connection between how strong the connection between the two are. At least 2. 3.
Winter
Captain
Soldier.
America, the first one, the first Avenger.
Yeah, Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
I think
Civil
all of them.
War.
And Civil War.
So all Captain America movies.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so
dumb.
it was ridiculous that Bucky wasn't the one to get the shield.
I agree.
But doesn't Bucky have all this baggage?
So
though?
what? Like baggage? What do you mean?
Baggage, like the whole thing that technically killed Tony Stark's parents,
But he was.
and he has
prepared
this.
for that.
Is he still
He
able to be
was-
controlled somehow?
No, they destroyed whatever.
I think
that
they got rid of
was,
it. They cured
that
him.
book or whatever.
So it just, I don't know, I just like he had like too much baggage going on for him to.
Well, and
move
he was in
forward as Captain America.
Wakanda, so
But,
I'm sure
okay,
that they
so
got rid of all
even-
that stuff.
Even just like throwing out the who got the shield, it was who should have come to him. Like to me, this is making me.
Yeah, I get that.
To me, this is making me like as upset as Leia not going to Chewbacca when Han Solo died.
Right.
She went to Rey. That was stupid.
and that was a
So,
mistake.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
think
even-
this is a mistake too.
And I think that was even J.J. Abrams was like, "Whoa, I should have done that.
Yeah.
Why didn't I do that?" type of thing. So it might be something like
This
that.
is like it's stupid.
Even though I did think that maybe like Captain America talked to Bucky before he took the stones back to where they were supposed to be in time. I thought that maybe he talked to him a little bit, like this is what I'm gonna do, this is my plan, and when I come back, this is what I'm gonna do.
Another,
But then I kind
why
of disregard
wouldn't
that.
they say? Why wouldn't Captain America say, "Hey, Bucky, want to come along?" You
Thank
from
you.
that time
Yeah.
too.
I was
We could
thinking the
both have
same
our
thing.
lives.
If
We
Bucky
both
would have gone
lost
with
our
him,
lives because of this, I think he would have taken them.
Probably. Maybe.
That would have been amazing.
Or maybe he just likes 2019.
If they could have shown Captain America and Bucky old, it would have made sense for Falcon to walk up to them.
No, I do agree that it should have been him. At least that part should have been played differently.
Yeah.
Even if they were going to give it to Falcon.
Yeah.
But it should have been played out differently. All right, so we're almost going to wrap this up here. So I'm going to ask you guys your letter grade on reviewing Avengers Endgame. So what did you think? Is it A, B, C, D, and so forth? Let's start with you, Ivan.
I give it a A. That was astounding. It's the closest thing I could think of to like shock and awe. I've used the expression before of like edge of my seat before. It was the first time I physically was at edge of my seat, like multiple scenes, and it was very emotional. I actually felt when Gamora died in Infinity War, I didn't really feel that much like emotion, but when Black Widow did die in this one, same like scenario.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was actually emotional. So it was a great movie. I loved it. I'm gonna go see it again soon. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it's still a great movie.
Now, did you like it more than Infinity War?
I was more amazed. It's really hard to pick out which one I like more.
Jessica?
I give it a B plus. I think that it had like amazing shots and like amazing scenes of like things that you would just be like yearning to see like your favorite characters do, and you finally see it and you're like, oh my god, like just awesome moments like that. I think that they wrapped everybody up pretty good, and I was like okay with everybody's send off, and it felt like a true like farewell movie where I didn't feel like anything was left like untied or unsaid. So I appreciate that. And I think for what it was, for how big of a scale everything was, that they did a great job like fitting that all into, even though it was a 3-hour movie, it didn't feel that way, which is a pretty big feat in itself.
Did you like it more than Infinity War?
Yes.
Bryan?
I would give Avengers Endgame a B. I thought there was a lot more good parts in it than bad, but I'm more of a fan of Infinity War than Endgame.
Jacob?
I'm gonna give it a B minus. Just a lot of things that would have changed. Like I can't say that.
How much time you got?
But overall, I really enjoyed the film. Definitely recommend seeing it in like good theaters, maybe Dolby over IMAX, maybe. But it was a good movie, so B minus.
Did you like it more than Infinity War?
Yeah, but not by much, just a little bit. But yeah, I liked it more than Infinity War.
All right, so I mean, I ultimately enjoyed Avengers Endgame. I would give it a B plus. I did like Avengers Infinity War more than this film. Like you said, Jacob, there's a few parts in the movie that were kind of slow, but I mean, they were important. So I don't know what parts I would cut out. I'm sure there's some I would have to watch the movie again to know, like, yeah, that shit does not need to be there. But it didn't feel super long. It felt like a long movie, but not to the point that I'm like, okay, this shit needs to end type of thing. But it was very enjoyable, and I like how they wrapped a lot of things up. And yeah, so it's gonna be a B plus for me. To see it, and that's gonna pretty much finish our spoiler review and discussion of Avengers Endgame. Now, don't forget that I have my Funko giveaway for subscribers. Make sure you follow the instructions. Must have $1 million worth in the United States, and obviously be a subscriber to the Movie Canon. And I'm also on Instagram, the Movie Canon. You can follow me there. And that's it. That's gonna finish our little podcast style video.
Yay!
All right, so I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.